Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about signs that you may be receiving from your loved ones. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I received a card the other day, so sweet, from a listener, Ginger, and I want to thank you for sending me a card that was so sweet and nice and thoughtful, which I already knew you were a nice and sweet and thoughtful person, but I really appreciated that. She sent me a card, a sympathy card for the death of my aunt, and on the front was dragonflies. And the really interesting thing about it is that I have been seeing dragonflies everywhere lately. So I felt like it was a sign, like a God wink, that yes, this is from your aunt. She's fine. She's doing well, which I knew anyway. But I also know my aunt, and I would know that she would want to say hi from heaven. And the magnet she sent with it was really, really sweet too. And it had a message about a life well lived is a life where you are loved a lot. It had something to that effect, which totally described my aunt. When, we went to the memorial, it was just very obvious how much everyone loved her. So I thought I would do this topic because to me, that was like a wink from the universe, like, hey, you need to talk about this. We can get communication from our loved ones once they've crossed over. But a lot of people are under this assumption that they're going to get this total visitation where the person shows up in physical form and you see them. And while some people may get a vision of their loved one, that's not usually how they show up. You see, when you're on the other side, your energy is vibrating at such a high frequency that it's hard for them to show up in that kind of physical form, or to feel like you can have a conversation where you're hearing their voice. And some people will say, well, I just want to hear their voice. Well, that's hard to do because of the difference in our energetic frequencies. Then some people may hear their loved ones, but the fact is you have to kind of raise your vibrational frequency and they have to lower theirs. So oftentimes we don't hear their voice and we don't see them necessarily, although we can in dreams. When we are in a dream state, it's much, much easier for them to come and visit us. So if you've had a dream of your departed loved one and it seemed very vivid, it was probably them visiting you to let them know you're okay, and just hugging you or whatever, comforting you. And I've had that too. And in a dream state, we are much more relaxed and it's much easier, like I said, for them to come and visit us. So you may wake up and remember a dream and think, wow, that seems so real. Well, don't doubt it. It was real that they come to, say hi, hug you, whatever. And don't feel like, why aren't they visiting me if they haven't visited you in a dream either? There's a lot of things that go into this. And when someone's newly departed, like for us, it's like, why haven't they visited us? It's been, a month or two since they've departed. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of things we really don't know, but I believe that it will happen in its own time. Sometimes I think we just need to learn how to start moving on without them, and maybe they know that it would be too soon to come and visit you because the pain is too fresh. I think there are a lot of reasons that you might not be receiving something right away. And again, every situation is different. So there are other ways that your loved ones can communicate with you and send you messages. And I'm going to talk about all of those right now. But the dragonfly for me, that was a way that I think my aunt sent a message. And I think that other relatives use other animals. Like I've had hummingbirds before, and I've had a hummingbird that just flew directly in front of my face and just flew right there in the air in front of my face for probably 30 seconds and then flew away. And I was just in awe, like I've never seen a hummingbird come that close. They're usually pretty skittish. they won't come near you. And so that got my attention. It's usually things that will get your attention, like an animal that wouldn't normally be right on you. Like sometimes they can land on you, like a butterfly. And that gets your attention, and that's usually a sign from, your loved one, just that they're okay and just, saying hello. Like I said, for me, my grandma, butterflies were significant. And then the one day it was bunnies. She sent a message about bunnies, and then I saw bunnies everywhere. So it's whatever, for every person it will be different. And you can even ask if you want, hey, can you send me a sign? Can you send me this? Send me a butterfly, or whatever you want to ask for. But that for me was what I used to always get. I would get butterflies, and then again, the hummingbird, and then now dragonflies. And it's extremely comforting to me because I think it's a sign letting us know that our loved ones are happy and they're doing well on the other side. And we shouldn't dwell on the fact that they aren't with us anymore, because you're going to see them again. We will see them again one day. But I wanted to talk about what are some of the other signs that you may see. And I have done a similar podcast to this a while back, but I think it bears repeating. People always ask me, how do I get signs, or how will I know? Those are the top questions I get, because after we lose loved ones, it's difficult. And we want to know that they're okay and they're being taken care of. So one of the ways that you can get signs from people is if you start noticing that you have strange electrical occurrences. So sometimes the lights will flicker, a TV might turn on, or a radio might turn on. And I know I told this story, but still I have to tell it again. Right after, my aunt actually was right after she passed away, I believe. And I posted a song. I posted a post on Facebook, and I alluded to the song Look For Me, but I didn't know that anyone would even really know that song. And then Ginger tagged me in a post and played the song Look For Me. I walked away from my phone, and my phone had already gone into lock mode, so there was nothing on, no apps open or anything. I walked away to go talk to my kids, and I heard music playing, and I thought to myself, where is that coming from? And I walked back into my room, and my phone was playing that song, Look For Me, and I was just shocked. It was like, wait a minute, how did that happen? And we had a similar situation when my children were little. My son had this little toy truck, and it was one of those motorized, it had a remote that came with it. And my brother and I were in the kitchen of our old house, and all of a sudden the lights went off, and it had a horn thing, and that went off, and it started moving. And we were both like, what is going on? So we thought, okay, maybe the batteries, sometimes when the batteries get low, things will kind of go off or whatever. So we thought, okay, well, that's probably it. So we took out the batteries, and then it did it again. And we're like, oh my gosh, that thing doesn't even have batteries in it. So we were freaking out. So that was one of the things that we experienced. So I know that can happen too. They can play with the electricity. And you might see again, you might hear other toys beep around your house for no reason. You may get a call from an unknown number, and then there's only static when you answer. So there's a lot of things that can happen with electricity. So pay attention to those kind of things. And the thing is, I think sometimes too, we get so busy that we're getting those signs and we just play it off to oh, the electricity's going out or something's happening. And now that I think about it too, the other night our electricity went out just for flickered for a second. It didn't go off. There wasn't storming. There wasn't really any reason to. So again, sometimes just to get your attention, you might actually feel their presence with you. You know how sometimes you feel like you're being watched, like someone's looking at you, not in a bad way, but just you can feel you might feel like there's somebody standing there next to you. Sometimes you just feel a presence behind you, and you're like, I don't know what this is. So that could be your loved one trying to get your attention and just let you know they're with you. You might feel like a tingling on your face or your back, like if they touch your cheek or rub your back or brushing your hair. Like I've told you before that I felt like someone was touching the back of my head, like brushing my hair. Like I felt that before when I was sitting in my car on my way to work. I could feel that. And then for me too, I also smelled cigarette smoke, and my grandpa smoked, and I didn't know him, but I just kind of felt like maybe it was him. And then I had a reading not too long after that, and they're like, your grandpa's always with you. I'm like, yes, I knew that. I already knew that, which is interesting because I had never met him, but I just knew that from different things that had happened to me. Like when my children were little, my daughter, I was rocking her to sleep, and she said, oh, Papa Till. She was waving and smiling and laughing at someone, and that's what she calls one of her grandpas, but he was still alive. And I thought, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. And then we went to my grandma's house, and there was a picture of my grandpa, the one who had passed away before I was born. And she pointed at the picture and she said, Papa Till. So that was another sign to me that that I was feeling was around me constantly, and what I was getting, what my daughter was picking up on was my grandpa. And then again, like I said, I had a reading and they said, oh, he's around you and your daughter a lot, trying to protect you guys. So that made me feel better. So that's one thing. Again, as I mentioned, smelling their scent, like I smelled cigarette smoke. And I don't like the smell of cigarette smoke, and there was no one around me smoking. So I knew it had to be a sign, but you may smell other things. Every once in a while, I will smell flowers. Like it smells like a funeral home, if that makes sense. I know that sounds weird to say, but you walk in and you can smell all the flowers. I will get that scent too sometimes. You might smell their perfume. You may smell like if there was a dish that they made that you really liked, or like, you made cookies with them, you may smell that. You'll know because you'll associate the smell. We always associate smells with people. And you may hear a song too that comes on the radio that reminds you of that person. So at that time, at that moment, when you hear that, that's them trying to get your attention. So the other thing is, they may put things in your path, like a picture might fall over, or you might see that something got moved into your house and you're like, I didn't move that. You may see dimes and pennies around you. Like, don't you wish they could leave $100 bills? I'm putting that out there for all of my deceased loved ones. If you want to just throw $100 bills on my path, that'd be great too. But they do. They leave the pennies and the dimes for you to find. And feathers is another one. You may see feathers in your path. And another one for me, this is really interesting. I had a reading with someone the other day, and I said, you're going to see hearts everywhere. You're going to start seeing them. And the funny thing is, and I don't know if she's seeing them, but now I'm seeing hearts everywhere too. So they may place hearts in front of you. You might just walk. And the weirdest thing, like a leaf will be in front of me, looks just like a heart. A bubble in my coffee that looked just like a heart. It's just strange, but you may start seeing that everywhere you go too. But feathers, again, is another common one. And you may see objects that maybe were only significant to the two of you, and you might start seeing that. Or you might get synchronicities too. You may hear something again and again, like on the radio and the TV. Like there may have been a phrase that person said, like maybe they said, you are my sunshine, or, I love you to the moon and back. And then you keep hearing that phrase everywhere, or you keep seeing the sign everywhere. And maybe even you hearing me say it today, you're like, oh, that's my loved one coming through because that's what we used to say. And, so it's a message. You can get messages everywhere from people. But that will happen to me. My mom, she had a principal that she really loved, and he died tragically, having like an aneurysm, and he used to always play the song "What a Wonderful World" at the end of the school year. He would always play that song for them, and she would hear it all the time. And it's not a song that, it was how many years ago that song was written and performed, but it would just pop up in the most random places, and we're like, okay, that's not a coincidence. And so that may be the same thing too. You may have a song that you really loved that reminded you of them, or maybe they sang that song to you. I know for me, I always tried to sing the song Baby Mine to my kids because I love that song. And my daughter would always say, Mom, don't sing that. It makes me sad. Even when she was little, she would say, Mommy, don't sing that song. It makes me sad. So I couldn't sing it to her, but I would sing it to my son. And he loved that song. So that's one that reminds me of them. And also like the song by Plum. It's In Your Arms, or In My Arms is what it's called. And I used to play that for them all the time too. And sometimes, you can get a song that will just come up, or a phrase from the song will come up, and you'll think, yeah, that's my loved one trying to get a hold of me or get a message. And it's just so interesting the way that they can communicate. You might also just get random thoughts throughout the day, like maybe their name pops into your head and you weren't thinking about them at all. That's also a way for them to send you a message, because it's much easier to communicate telepathically. It's interesting because my aunt and I, like when she was still alive, I would be laying in bed at night sometimes and I would hear her say my name. And then I would see her later and say, oh, I was praying for you. I was praying that you would be safe because I know there was going to be bad weather. It was so funny because even here on this earthly plane, we had a connection that just her praying about me, I heard her saying my name. So you might get the same kind of connection with someone. You may telepathically just, their name might pop into your head. You may have a thought pop into your head like, I love you so much, and know it's from that person. So pay attention to your thoughts too. If it sounds like they're trying to give you a message, if it sounds like this thought that popped into your head, it wasn't your own, that might be a message. And you might even be thinking about them, and then you look at a bumper sticker and it says, I love you very much. And that might be a message too, just pay attention, because I feel like our loved ones are always trying to get our attention, but we don't always listen, or, you know what I mean? We go through life so quickly and we're such a crazy pace, we don't take the time to stop and actually pay attention to what's going on around us. And I feel like our loved ones are like, oh, this is me trying to get your attention, and we don't acknowledge it. So pay attention to what's going on around you, because you may be getting a lot of signs. And again, having synchronicities line up, if you're thinking about, your Aunt Tara, and then you drive by and there's a truck that comes by for Tara's Bakery or something. Those kinds of things happen. It's really interesting how those happen. Again, you could see visions of people and you might hear them, but I think that's a lot harder to be able to receive a vision, because you really have to have your third eye open and be in tune with those gifts, and have your energy level, your vibration has to be high and raised. And it can be. I'm not telling you can't do that. I'm not saying that at all. But a lot of people will say, well, I can't see a vision, or I don't get a vision. And I can tell you that I can tap into people's energies, and I will get thoughts that pop into my head, but I don't necessarily get visions. And I know that I probably could if I worked on that gift. You know what I mean? We all have the ability, but you have to work on it, and you have to really, I think, be opening up spiritually. And I know there are people who are, because I have people who reach out to me and say, I see visions. And I think that's incredible. That's amazing. I'm not quite there yet. That's not the way that I receive information. But if you do, that's amazing and that's awesome. And if that's something that you really want, it is possible. You just have to work on it. It's like anything, you have to practice. I think as we were all babies, we all had the ability to see and hear and connect with the other side. And as we get older, we just get told that that's not possible. And so many of us are closed off to that. Plus, we interact in our daily lives, and so many things happen, and our energy just gets so bogged down. And if we're not good about clearing our energy, clearing our space, doing the regular meditation work and doing the tappings and all of the things that we need to do to keep our energy level up, then I think that we have a harder time being able to communicate. And it's fixable. We can work on that. When you start meditating and you work on yourself, you'll see that you start opening up more to those abilities. It may come in slowly for you at first. You may just see like sparkles of light out of the corner of your eye. I do get that sometimes, especially when Archangel Michael is near me, because I see like blue sparkles of light out of the corner of my eye, and I know that I'm protected and that he's there. You may notice orbs in your pictures. The one time I was asking for Archangel Ariel to be with me, I saw a pink orb in one of my photos. Actually, one of my listeners saw it and said, "Did you notice this?" And I totally had not. And you may start getting like thoughts. For me, this is how it shows up. It's a thought that pops into my head, but I know it's not my own thought. Like, I know it wasn't me. It didn't come from me. And it's paying attention, I think, and noticing the difference between my thought, what's not my thought. And for me, that's how I get guides, my guidance from my guides too, is I get this thought. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, wait, I didn't come up with that. That wasn't my own. And you may notice that, and you may notice you might start to get great ideas or different things that happen, and you think, how did I come up with that? And then you realize, oh, that was not me. That was my guide, or that was a departed loved one giving me a message. So pay attention to your thoughts too, and your feelings. How are you feeling? You'll notice, I think, if you really pay attention when your loved ones are around, because you feel a shift in the energy in the room. It may suddenly feel a little like you may feel colder. I get tingles in my arms, and like the hair on my arms stand up. And I feel like a tingling around the back of my neck, in the back, like someone's standing really close to me. And you feel that energy. That's what I will feel sometimes. And for me, when I feel that, like it doesn't scare me. I just know that there are either departed loved ones around me, or my guides around me, or angels trying to get my attention and just let me know. Like, sometimes it's just letting you know, hey, I'm here and I'm okay, or you're going to be okay. If you've ever noticed when you go through something and you have a difficult situation, and we've all had this moment where you find yourself locking yourself in your room or in the bathroom or somewhere, and you're just having a breakdown moment, and you just start crying because it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you're stressed, and you're just really having a breakdown, and you're crying or whatever. That's when you may notice a presence too. Like, it's like a comforting feeling. It's like someone's just showing up to tell you, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this. We're here. We're supporting you. And so if you start paying attention, I think that you're going to start noticing this and seeing this. So I would urge you to slow down and start looking for the signs. And again, you can ask your loved ones for a specific sign. You can do that and then see what shows up for you. You will be amazed. Well, I think it's just confirmation, and it makes us feel better to know that life goes on. When we cross from this world to the next, that's not it for us. It's not over. We go on, and our souls live on, and love lives on. So that should be a comforting feeling for you. And the card that I pulled is from The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. It's the universe works fast when I'm having fun. And I love this because to me what this says is, if you are trying to manifest things, put your intentions out there and then just go live your life and have fun, and don't worry about it. Don't focus on the lack, because when you focus on the lack, that's what you call in. Focus on all of the abundance that you already have, all the blessings that you already have, and more of that is going to start showing up for you. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. That helps others find me. please share it with others, either through your social media, or you can just tell people about it the good old-fashioned way, by mouth, word of mouth. And I super appreciate that. I appreciate all of you listening. Thank you for being a part of my soul family. If you would like to work with me, I have so many ways you can work with me. People contact me and say, I really want to live a better life and up level, but I really don't know how to do it. Honestly, the best thing you could do would be to enroll in my program, A Purposeful Pilgrimage. I am considering changing the name only because it just dawned on me that, I don't know, I just don't feel like the name really fits what it does. I don't think it tells people enough about what it does. It really changes your life. And so if you're interested, enroll in A Purposeful Pilgrimage. You can enroll on my website. I might be changing the name of that soon. I was considering the name Live Your Best Life or Love Your Best Life, something to that effect. So if you see that, it's the same program. I'm feeling like I need a change in the name of it. But I've had so many people come forward and say that this was the best program and it helped them change their life in so many amazing ways. So you can consider that. It is $88, which is a steal, honestly. And it's yours to keep. All of the lessons are yours to keep forever. You just join. And when you join, you go to my website and just click on the payment button. You pay through PayPal. There's 2 payment options. You can either pay in full, or you can split the payment and pay half of it one month and half the next month. And then the course material is yours forever. Once you enroll, and PayPal will send me a message that you have requested to be a member and that you've paid, I will send you a link with your membership login, and then you have access to it forever. There's so many things included. Each daily lesson includes a meditation, a tapping, and much more. So many things like that. So it's not just about your spiritual life either. It's also teaches you how to choose a healthier lifestyle in general, physically, emotionally, in all areas of your life. So if you're interested in that, sign up on my website. If you're interested in a coaching session or a Reiki session, or you would like to do a past life regression, all of the information about my services are on my website. My website is just melissaoatman.com. And you can book with me by emailing me, or you can send me a message on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram. Any way you want to get a hold of me is fine. You can also call me. You can text me too. You can text me, call me, email me, and you can book a session that way. And what I do is I will send you an invoice through PayPal that you can pay. You don't have to have a PayPal account to pay through PayPal. You just have to have an email. So if you're interested, get a hold of me. I would love to work with you. If you're interested in my upcoming Reiki course, it's $200 for beginning Usui level 1 Reiki, and it will be a hybrid course. So it's online, but we will also meet online through Zoom. So it's a 2-week course. You will do a lot of the course material on your own. You will go through it and read it, and then we will get together. We will meet twice a week through Zoom in the group setting, and we will answer questions. I will go over how to perform the Reiki. You will get practice sessions. You will be attuned by me. It's going to be so much fun. So if you're interested, please go to my website. And if you click on the purple, it's on the page for the Reiki course. If you click on the purple button that says I'm interested, it will take you to a form, a Google form that you will fill out. I want to get a group together. So when we have a group together, then I will email you all privately and let you know when we will start the course. And then I will send you all an invoice through PayPal to pay that way. So I think it is worth so much money because you're going to learn how to be able to heal yourself as well as loved ones, and you can use it to start your own business. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and click on that button. You can also just email me. That's great too. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. Don't forget to catch me on my Facebook Lives. And Nala says goodbye too. I am sending you guys massive love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.